right, man. Let's tune that in. Let me just get right to it. This other monitor's not working. All right, so we're running a little handicap. I'm back. Yes, 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 yes. Man, always remember, whatever you think about comes about. Man, and whatever you focus on, that is what is going to grow in your life and expand. Right now, we're thinking about stocks, stock market, opportunity. I can't think of a better time to be getting involved. I wish I was new. I wish I was new to the stock market and Lyft was $10. It's fucking amazing. Um, there's so many stocks right now. What you're looking at here is what they call a chart. Most of you are like, duh, I know, but not everybody knows that. Some people are brand new, man. Not everybody's as smart as you are. Because let me tell you something, man. You are very, very smart. You are. We got everything we need inside of us to do more, be more, have more. You like my Santa hat, man? So we're live streaming loud and clear. All right, man. I've been trying to, we'll get to Buffett in just a second. We got a chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This chart here goes back to 1915. How far back is that? Let's do the math. That's 117 years, I guess. No, 107 years. A long time ago. Your grandma's day. This is the stock market. This represented by the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Look at this. See how it moves? Now, notice something when you're looking at it, kind of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You see that little thing? What I'm going to try to convince you is that is a fractal pattern. Now, I know you're like, Gerald, I don't know what a fractal is. That's why I'm here. I'm here as your spirit guide, man. As we look at this is the spirit world, man. You ever watch the movie Young Guns and he says, Chavez, where are we? We're in the spirit world. That's what this is. This here is a visual representation of the S&P 500. Now, pretty much tracks the Dow. We can look at the Dow. Now, you got to stay on it. I'm kind of partial to the S&P, but let's look at the Dow. And you'll see this sway of movement, like up, down, up, down. Now, I'm going backwards. You know, some countries, they read backwards, different than we do. But you'll see this pattern of price movement. And this here is a daily chart. Each one of these bars represent the emotions of millions of people all over the world, by the way, get up every day. Some of them are really smart. They get up and they're watching. And on this day right here, the stock market opened exactly where it opened before. Now, I'm going to fast forward just a second in the strategy that I teach. This point here is super important. We call it an anchor point. And two things you're going to need to understand in life as you go forward with the money flow, which is just the flow of price. I'm looking for anchor points and I'm looking for apex points, or what we affectionately call stage 1, stage 3. And that visually, children, for the youngest among us, man, how old you got to be to push buttons? I mean, imagine if you were fucking around with stocks when you were 9. Some people got to wait till they're like 50. Imagine if you started at 17. You're like, what do you mean? Like you started tracking the price of oil. You ever meet a 17-year-old knows where the fuck oil is? Highly doubt it. And yet oil moves every day. And what if you do? What if you get onto this early, man? And what if you catch this? And I began to notice that all price would flow. Now, as I began to study the stock market, this is the last 12 years of the stock market. As represented each one of these little ones you see, the open and the close, the high and the low, that candle, or what some people call bar, that's 1 month. 1 month. So this is just a visual. All a chart is a visual representation. What I just showed you is fractal. This is a month. Well, if we drop from a month to a weekly, look what happens. It begins to change as we back it up, right? The visual picture of price moving. Look at all these people coming in and out on Instagram. Stay for a minute. Oh shit, I might learn about stocks. I better go. Stay with me, man. And so these are weekly, and you'll notice inside of this weekly, same thing, runs up, comes down, runs up, comes down, runs up, comes down, runs up, right? You'll see it. And over time, if you back this up, it was a lot higher, but where is it now? It's lower. But if we back this up to a 1 month, where each one of these is 1 month, what do you see? It's been going up for a long time, huh? Look at that, 2009, man. But here's the thing. Let's back it up from that. Let's go 100 and some years. Look at this movement, man. All the doom staying out there. So if we come and look and say, hey, when were you born? When were you born? So if you're 22 years old, I guess you were born over here. Where was that? Man, that's not a good time to get in the stock market either. I just randomly picked that number. We got a tech crash to deal with. So the Dow Jones goes from 19, man, to what? What did it fall down to? Oof, like 12. That's a pretty big fall, man. And then it runs up back to 17, 18. Now, if it falls from, this is a long time frame here. Look, that's 2000. And it goes down, and it's now the year 2003. But Gerald, what are you trying to sell, man? Don't talk during church, sir. Just listen. Shh. Shh. Let's talk. More listen. A fractal is a never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. What I'm trying to teach, sir, is to sell you back to yourself. Financial freedom. If you don't understand money, if you're all fucked up in the head when it comes to money, you're loaded up in debt, you don't understand the stock market. If you don't understand the stock market or immensely understand the real estate market, you're going to die broke. You're never going to be free. You're going to spend the rest of your life working. That's the truth. That's the basics. So this month I've been talking on a series about getting back to the basics, man. You got to get your shit right. It's time for you to start trading and doing it well, learning it like an art. Me too, man. I need to refine my art. But I need to go back to the basics and understand some truths. What's the truth, Gerald? This game's fucking rigged. It's been going up ever. Even when it didn't do that, even when it ran up and came way back down here, you remember in 1931? Your grandma had a mini skirt on. She's out doing shots, trying to hook up with dudes. You don't remember your grandma like that, do you? But grandma was out there. Maybe her mama was out there. They were out on Bourbon Street like I was. Look, they're partying away. And the Dow Jones ran way up here. And everybody was living the high life. 1929, remember that? You guys remember that from school? Well, guess what, man? That's what this game is about. Where are we at? On the daily. See how fractal it is? Now we're in the daily. Guess what we're doing? We're playing the fractal game of price movement, man. Your grandma was too busy to pay attention. Oh, you don't know the woes, Gerald. You don't know the woes of the 1930s. All the wind, and the farmers lost all their crops, and nobody had a job, and we all ate poor boy sandwiches and lived in a tent. It's like, not everybody. Go back and read it. J.P. Morgan started doing this shit right here. He said, let me get some lift, some HBA. Hey, you know that short I got on the S&P 500? You're like, what do you mean? Oh, you didn't know that? So when you come over here, you didn't know you could short that? You're like, what do you mean? Meaning, okay, in one account, you're long all these stocks, and the other account, you short. And the one goes down and the other goes up. That's called hedge funds, by the way. Hedge fund means you hedge yourself. And you can learn that. But here's the thing, even if you don't know that, but if you did know that, that would seem to be helpful. What if you believe stocks always went up, but sometimes you said, let me fuck around with this downside a little bit. I'm going to keep my stocks, and then I'm going to short the market. You could do that. And that's what this fractal pattern is about, man, expanding your mindset a little bit. What if you made time in your life for a short? Is that possible? And here's the thing about a short, sometimes it don't work because 70% of the time the market's going up. So if you back this up, yeah, you got these moments. Look at this. Watch. When was this? Oh, that was 2007. I was in this one. The stock market is picture and soul of fucking universal history. Like this is every day. Tick, tick, tick. These stock charts, these things tick, man. Had a guy ask me, he said, what's your most valuable possession? I said, this right here. Pulled up my phone and opened stock charts and showed him this right here. What is your most valuable possession, sir? A watch? A car? Oh, look at my car. Yeah, cool. Look at my charts. Right here, I'm getting a sell signal on the S&P 500. This is one of the most valuable things to me is this right here, the knowledge of this. Because you can't take this from me. You can take all the money I got. I can put more money back in and do this. So it's a skill set. So as I watch price, but it's based on a rigged system, man. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Apartment house, you wouldn't get a quote on it every day or every week or every month. So it's a terrible mistake to think of stocks as something that bob up and down, and you should pay attention to what those bobs up and down.
Oh, we will, though.
Literally every day have thousands of the major American corporations offered you at a price that changes daily. And you don't have to make any decisions. You have to make, nothing is forced upon you. So there are no called strikes in the business. The pitcher just stands there and throws balls at you. And if you're playing real baseball and it's between the knees and the shoulders, you either swing or you got a strike call on you. If you get too many call on you, you're out. In the securities business, you sit there and they throw U.S. Steel at 25 and they throw General Motors at 68, and you don't have to swing at any of them. They may be wonderful pitches to swing at, but if you don't know enough, you don't have to swing. And you can sit there and watch thousands of pitches, and finally you get one right there where you want it, something that you understand, and then you swing. And
so you might not swing for 6 months.
you might not swing for 2 years.
Isn't that the...
Bam. What do you mean swing? I mean, I'm tracking it. I'm watching it because I know the normal price movement is that it goes up and it goes down. But here's what I know. It's rigged, meaning over time. Look, there was a whole bunch of guys right in here. What was this, 2007? Oh, the world is never coming back, guys. Total collapse. Guess what? There's a bunch of beautiful stage ones down now that made people wealthy up here. And the only way they can do that is they've got to believe at its core the stock market goes up as much as 71% of the time. And the problem is it's not a straight line. Price can only do one of three things: move up, move down, move sideways. So while that's going on, where are we at, man? Your grandma's over here. Where do you think your grandma was born? 1950. Let's see what she was up to. Let's say your grandma was born in 1950. That means the Dow Jones was 2,383. Now, they got some poor saps. They bought it over here. They started playing the game, and it was at 5630. Oh, they were in a terrible sorts down here. And it fell to 1,700. I mean, it's over, right? The game's over. Take your money out. Get out of the stock market. It's a terrible idea. And you can just keep playing that game back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth as it goes throughout time, going higher and higher and higher and higher. Same with housing prices. Same with gas prices. Same. Oh, man, I done moved my thing over here. Same with... Boy, you try to run three things at one time, it gets hard. You hear all those crazy people outside my house, man. So they threw a party for me. The city of New Orleans threw a party for me last night. It was thousands of people down there on Bourbon Street. So we see the S&P rolling over right now. What you got to understand if you're at church, you got to understand the fractal. The money flow trading system is about the fractal. Before we get to the fractal, man, let's back it up. So I've been talking about this back to the basic stuff, man. Dig into that stuff, man. Be able to. I was talking to someone last night, and they said, thinking about buying real estate. And I said, how many deals have you written down? They're like, what do you mean? Write it down, man. Go find it. I said, go find me something that pencils out on the MLS. They're like, what do you mean? Go find something. It's like 2-3 doors. It's pencils out. It's currently rented. It gets this much. The price is this much. It pencils out, meaning it looks like it'd be profitable. Yeah, but what about, that what about is the game, man. So go find them and then play with it. You're like, well, I don't have money to buy it. Don't matter. Go over there. You know, the way you end up with a car is you go to a car lot, by the way. The way you get good at trading stocks is you trade stocks every day, by the way. So you watch it, right? And here's what you got to know if you're going to roll with me. You know what this is, and you know what this is. You got to know these two things. This is at the core of this. And it is not a big deal. We may or may not make any moves based on it. Meaning, if it's a buy and hold, let's get back to Buffett.
Boring?
It would bore most people, and certainly boredom is a problem with most professional money managers. If they try to sit out an inning or two, not only do they get somewhat antsy, but their clients are start yelling, swing you bum.
Some people should not own stocks at all because they just get too upset with price fluctuations. If you're gonna do dumb things because your stock goes down, you shouldn't own a stock at all. No, I mean,
What are dumb things? Selling a stock?
yeah, selling a stock as it goes down. I mean, if you buy your house at $20,000 and somebody comes along next day and says,
Woo! Now, that's not for traders. Ignore what he just said. That's not what he's talking about there. He's talking about investing. What is he talking about there? Big picture. What he's telling you is it's rigged. He's saying, listen, you know how I got rich? I just bought shit and held it. Duh. And what I did that other people couldn't do is I'd wait for the right setup, for the right pattern. And because it wasn't my money, I'd just hold it for them. And I'd wait. And I'd wait. And when it would set up, that's when I would buy. And his setup and your setup may not be the same. So we're going to just look at an example. An example for me, if it's anything of value, now you got to determine value. I don't know. Man, come on. Let me get back to the two selves. I don't know how we're friends. You don't have this book, The Two Selves. I'm trying to help you get rich, man. If you don't get your mind right, you're not going to get rich. You're not going to be able to trade. And if you do make money trading, you're going to give it all back, man. You got to see yourself as a millionaire in your head, no matter where you're at, no matter your circumstances. And it's just a math number, man. And $1 million's just getting started. Most of my friends get to $1 million in 5, 6, 7 years. Man, we got to get to 5, right? That's when you get to start, man, killing it. Like, and this is, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, man. No great person ever said, now remember, this is back to the basics. We're doing Money Flow Church, right? We're back to the basics. So listen, no great person ever said, got to get paid first. Martin Luther King never said that because the demonstration of his love, in other words, his love for his fellow man, you like my hat, man? Nobody's even commented about my hat. I'm the only guy on a live stream wearing Christmas stuff right now. I don't even like Christmas. How come nobody said, man, gee, I like your hat, man? I had a heckler said, you're an ugly Santa. That's still in my head. They said it over and over. I didn't even see it, so I'm sitting there just talking for like an hour while someone calls me an ugly Santa. No great person ever said got to get paid first. Martin Luther King never said this because the demonstration of his love for his fellow man was all he needed. Same with musicians, actors, writers, etc., who, investors, entrepreneurs, and you should be one of those, you should be both of those, who for years worked for little or for free. You simply became an artist doing what you love. Man, what if you loved investing? Man, what happens if you fall in love with trading? What happens if every time, say you're hanging out with me, man, in the Money Flow Gang, and we watch it every day. Hey, Money Flow Gang, when you don't look, I do. That's a sell signal, right? That's a stage 4 decline. We got that right there, though. So when you're busy at work, you're like, Gerald, I'm delivering tacos this week. I can't watch the market. I'm going to watch it for you. And then I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to be like, hey, bro, we just put in an anchor point. We're waiting on our buy point because we're just following this pattern here. And then I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you and say, what's up? So as I'm watching stuff, man, it's like how many things you want to watch. You may not be able to watch as many as I'm watching. Don't try to be me, man. I'm trading a lot more money, man. So, you know, trading a lot more money. You might not be trading 500,000, 600 million. Some people got 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. How many millions until you get stressed? Warren Buffett's got hundreds of billions, and he doesn't look very stressed. Let's hear him. Warren Buffett doesn't look very stressed.
Says, I'll pay you 15, you don't sell it because the quote's 15. You look at the house or whatever it may be. But some people are not actually emotionally or psychologically fit to own stocks, but I think more of them would be if you get educated on what you're really buying, which is part of a business. And the longer you hold stocks, the less risky they become. Whereas
Hear what he said? The longer you hold them. I got criticized for a video on this, and I showed and I explained what that means. Meaning every time you collect a little dividend, they're giving your money back. It ain't long before they gave all your money back. You still got it, and if you left your money in there, now you got double. And then going forward, and if you got 10 or 15 of them, begins to quadruple. That's what happens, man. Wealth begots wealth. These businesses. But this here, if we're investing, what chart reading, I had a guy that said, well, I'm not a trader. I don't need to look at charts. I'm like, you know how dumb that is, what you just said, bro? Like, if you just learn this thing here as an investor, this is an indicator. We use indicators on highways, use indicators when your car's about to overheat. Nobody goes, I don't need that. Yeah, you do need that, man. So as an investor, if you're all going to be a serious investor, you need to know what's going on in the marketplace. How are you going to take advantage of fear if you can't? I almost cussed. How are you going to take advantage of fear if you can't define fear? How are you going to take advantage of price volatility if you can't define value? So at the core of the money flow is we have to understand value. Real estate investing is about understanding value. Rent versus price. The math formula of I'm only putting 20% down. So you have three components. Guess what else has three components to it, by the way? The MACD, man. So as this is the window and the solar price, what we were just talking about there was the RSI, man. If you look on here, you're going to see I only have the histogram. Now, the guy that invented the MACD was a guy named Gerald Appel. When Gerald invented it, you probably see it with the lines on it. Looks like this. For me, this is the TSI. It's not the MACD. I just look at the histogram. And all I'm looking at for this is to confirm momentum. Meaning what? Whatever way it ticks, you see that slight inflection? You took a crayon and you drew it up to there, and then the next day it came down a little. If these were represented by gas prices, so the price today was 47 cents, next day the price is 45, next day the price is 42, then it's 38, and then what? 31, and then what we can conclude as we drove by and looked at that, you're like, wow, looks like it's in a downtrend. So all that allows me to do is look at price, and from one tick to the next, tell you what direction is momentum. That doesn't mean it's going to keep doing it, but I can look at it. And it's more likely to keep doing it if it's on the opposite extreme. Because that gives time price digest, man. And so as it moves through fluctuations, which, I mean, it's not just me saying that, man. This is smartest.
The pitcher just stands there and throws balls at you. And if you're playing real baseball and it's between the knees and the shoulders, you either swing or you got a strike call on you. If you get too many called on you, you're out. In the securities business, you sit there and they throw U.S. Steel at 25 and they throw General Motors at 16. And you don't have to swing at any of them. They may be one.
So what he's saying is we have autonomy, man. We don't have to respond to the price fluctuations. We can dominate it because we can know that it's normal. We know that, listen, there's only three cardinal things. Price goes up, down, or sideways, flip a coin, right? That doesn't mean we know where it's going, but we know what it's doing. And what I began to discover is, I would go through that natural fluctuation that over time it's rigged. It just goes higher. The government supports it. The army supports it. Everyone supports it. It's completely fucking rigged. The banks, the government, they just give them money. It's total. Man, listen. Let me read you some. My book, The Two Selves. Man, get this book, man. It's $27. Stop. It's 32 pages. Go get this. You're going to read it. By Monday, you can't do it by Monday. It takes 45 days to read these 32 pages. Why? Because you only can read one module a day, okay? You want to be a trader? You want to be an investor, entrepreneur, self-promoter? Goddamn, if you don't promote you, who will? You better be a self-promoter. Self-promoters rule the world, by the way. Money, all money is simply a social agreement. To whom and which side of the register you agree will dictate where and how you work. It also determines how much you'll be allowed to earn and how quickly you gain financial freedom. Meaning, if you don't play financial freedom games, you don't get financially free. Duh. If you attach earning money only to a job, that's the dumbest way to earn money. If you, man, you can't let it just be that, okay? You've got to find a way to make money without you doing much. If you attach earning money only to a job, you will never see, feel, or understand prosperity. Having a job is only one way to earn and create money in your life. Wages will pay your bills, but profits are what make people rich. Let's talk about some profits. Look at some of the stocks we've been looking at. Amgen. Now, you might say, now I got a buddy who tried to go short Amgen. Let me show you, sir. Listen to me, man. I'm trying to help you. Now, what he was doing was smart. He tried to short it over here. That strategy works if you stay with it, meaning what? What he's trying to do, he doesn't know it. Everyone's doing the money flow. People are like, well, I don't use Gerald's strategy. Yeah, you do. You just don't call it that. Meaning there's a lowest low and there's a highest high. No matter how you're trading, where you're trading, or what you're trading, it's falling inside of this right here. This is from God. This is how prices move. They go sideways. It's not up for debate or dispute. Nobody gets it like, oh, it doesn't do that. Yes, it does. And then it goes up for a while, and then it stops. Then it kind of goes sideways, and then it stops, and then it starts to come down, and then it stops, and then it goes sideways. So if you watch, now, it may get all out of Jackie whack, meaning it's not long clean. When we talk about the manifestation of the money flow, meaning price is moving like that every day. What? Hello. What is this? Right? Now, it's going to take a little training. You got to be able to spot it. None of this means I know where it's going. Don't misinterpret what I'm talking about. I'm just showing this. And then where do we expect it to stop? Where it stopped before. So when you look at this right here, it went up. It put in an anchor point, right? We determine it from looking at the past. They say past performance is not indicative of future results. Okay. And then we know when it goes below that green line, that's this right here. So it's how do you want to play it, man? So if I think the S&P is going to go down, well, it's going to do that. Meaning it has to go below the 20-day moving average. It has to trigger all 6 parts of the money flow. So everybody's doing the money flow. You just might not call it that. You know, you're doing something. So if you go and look at my moves that I document, by the way, I assume all influencers do this, right? Keep a running tab for everybody to see. So if you go look at these moves, I'm responding to this. Now, doesn't mean I'm gonna get it right. I might position and it could stop, turn, come right back down. Well, fuck, now it triggers stage 4 decline. Now it goes. And if we're trading, we're gonna build rules around that, right? And if I'm trading, I might lower the time frame. Now we're gonna start doing time frame continue. So it depends on how do we want to approach it. But as an investor, do I want to buy some here or I want to buy some up here? I want to buy some down here, man. And guess what? There's also another filter of mine that it hit was this golden line. That's value. This is a lot of shit that I'm dumping on you really fast because a lot of this, remember, it's just Sunday service, man. You got to go back and read the Bible. You got to go back and apply it to yourself. You got to go back and do what you're supposed to do. Man, look at these clean boxes on this is Amgen. This was such a perfect money flow trade. And if we go look up how much is Amgen worth, it was overvalued here. And at the exact moment it went overvalued, the RSI triggered a sales signal. Put in an apex point, went sideways, now it's breaking. If that doesn't convince you, man, I don't know what to say to people. So if I believe that the thing is rigged and that over time my money's going to go up, but sometimes you have moments where it comes down fast. If I can see that and I can somehow chart the pattern, then as an investor or trader, especially as an investor, What do I want to do? I want to buy ones, not threes, right? Oh man, oh man. Gerald teaches us how to make money when you get coal for Christmas. This guy says, like the hot photo of my sister. Don't you kind of wish those were true sometimes? It's always a scam. Why couldn't you just show us your real sister, sir? If you're going to say it, at least do it. At least be honest with that part. So, Dow Jones Industrial, what is the name of the book, Nate? Money Flow Trading System. Ma'am, click the link. Stop. Get your shit together. Click the link. Man, imagine if you were to listen to me. The worst case scenario is you just bought a book. Here's what you have to lose, lady. You have a book. There's a lot fucking worse things that can happen to you in life. That you paid for a book, and I promise you're going to learn a bunch. And you're going to learn how to take advantage of these price movements that come through here. You're going to be able to look at a chart, and within, I don't know, a week, you're going to be smarter than every girl you know, because most of them don't know shit about the stock market. So, and then you're going to be looking at it, and you're going to be looking at it like, I don't need to know if this is a good deal. I know if it's a good deal. I got people that tell me if it's a good deal. Meaning all I got to do is find good stocks and simply plug in their name, and then it tells me the value. Then all I got to do is start tracking the price of it. And then all I got to do is pay the fuck attention. And then when it sets up and this thing gets undervalued, what do? Step in and I buy some. Exactly what Warren Buffett teaches. He just doesn't tell you what an anchor point is or an ape. He doesn't give a shit. He's done a different way of seeing it. But I guarantee you his best buys were stage ones and his best profit taken were stage threes. It has to be. It has to be, man. I mean, the best time to, like, let's look at Exxon. So watch this. Just from paying it. Man, here's the thing, lady. You don't even know me. So you could just order it. Don't tell any of your friends. They'll be like, man, you bought a book from a crazy guy on YouTube and Instagram. Just buy it. And then just fucking read it. And then do what I show you. Just start doing it. Just imagine how awesome you'd be. All of a sudden, here's what's going to happen. You're going to start to have more money. So if you go to my story, I post dividends. I got to post the ones from Friday, a couple $100. They just give you money. And if you can pick up those even cheaper, the yield grows higher and higher. And the longer you own it, you actually have less risk in it. So then you actually truly get to take advantage of price volatility because for long, all the money that you put into Pepsi, you've doubled it. So even when it comes down, you're still in the green. If you saw I was posting during COVID, I would post like the one, not growth stocks and shit that we were trading, but buy and holds. I'd post them and we're down massive, still green. You're like, how is that possible? I didn't get on the train when you got on. Hello, there's a train. You're like, choo choo. When you want to get on? Well, little old Johnny was born right here, and Grandpa gave him some money, and he bought some stocks in 2015. Well, if we zoom this in, maybe he bought right here. Maybe you bumped into GP, and you're like, man, let me get that book, man. And then all of a sudden you're making money. You're like, this is great. I love this guy. He's such a good influencer. And then it goes from 18,000 to 9. You're down 50%. You're like, oh, I like GP. He's always saying to buy the stocks. Well, what if a guy just came on? He didn't get on the train when you got on. You got on up here around, what did we say? Oh, you got on around 6. You were up 20-something. Then it came back here. Now someone new gets on. Man, he's had a great run. Look at this. But along the way, someone else could have, you get what I'm saying? Like, this is just a bus trip, man. When you want to get your ticket and get on. When you want to get rich. Everybody's always got an excuse. Oh, Gerald, you see interest rates? It's like, you don't know shit about interest rates. The only thing you know is what the fuck they're telling you on TV. Most people don't know anything. They don't even know how that affects the price of a house. Have you run any numbers to see? Probably not, man. Now, I know a bunch of rich dudes that have. You're like, what do you mean? If we go back and check the housing prices from 2020, and we run that shit all the way back to when your grandma was at the club trying to pick up dudes over here. I know you don't see her that way. I get it. But she was 18, 19. and she was over here, 1949. Instead of, she could have bought these stocks. And back here though, she didn't have Morningstar. You're like, what do you mean? Watch this. Let me show you how easy. Let me show you how rigged this is. Let me show you one. Morningstar, AMGM. Now, if you've been in the money flow with me for at least a year, you know this is the God's honest truth. When we bought Amgen, it was trading at a 40% discount. You're like, how could you possibly know that? I just typed it in right here. I pay these guys money. So if I need insurance, I call my insurance broker and I say, hey, how much is it? If I need whatever, I just go to the portal. Stocks are no different. If you see this chick here, Karen, click on Karen. I show this a lot during the day, but this is really, 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 really important. Hey, what's up, Karen? All right, back over here. Before joining Morningstar in 2005, Anderson received a master's degree in administration from Rice University. All disclosure, I ain't got no master's degree. She knows more than me, maybe. Where she served as senior healthcare analyst for MA Wright Fund. She worked at a fund and earned, long story short, we can go on and read. She Pi Beta Kappa, holds a chartered financials designation, blah, blah, blah. Her job is to tell me what this stock is worth. Let this sink in. Let it sink in for a second. You're like, you mean any stock? Not any. That's why I got 3 of these subscriptions. They don't cover them all. If this goes 3-star and overvalued, and I lay it over this game where I'm watching charts every day, so every day I'm flipping through my 117 holdings. If I have one that goes extremely overvalued, I didn't say it, Karen did. She's got Pi Beta Kappa Dippa. She has a something degree. She worked at a fund, and then she's going to break it down, and we can get as dirty with this as you want. You could sit and read the financials, go through it. I mean, I do this. This is really boring live, so I don't sit here, and sometimes people think, well, you don't look at, yes, I do. I can look there. There's a, look, REGN, that's a competitor. Novak. So we could spend hours researching, have a list, begin watching them, and that's what you see here. So if I'm going to run $1 million in the stock market, what am I going to do? Half-ass it? No, man. And it's broke up into different sectors, right? And so that's what this allows us to do. So as I come over here, right? This right here is the total Dow Jones, right? So this gives me a big picture. And people say, where do you think the market's going? Well, we can go read what Karen thinks, and then we can lay that over the top of the technicals. And we know whenever this goes green, market turns. I mean, almost every time, man. Look. Every time it hits that green, it stops, and even there, pull back. Here's what we don't know. We don't know how far it's going to pull back. But we can see the signs. You walk outside and it's cloudy. You're like, fuck, it looks like it's going to rain. Sun comes out, looks like it's done. And that's all this is, man. I mean, it's simple as that. You don't need to know the math. But by the way, this is math. It's taken a 14-day average of this thing over, it's just taking an average. And it's just showing the average. And if it moves too far too fast, or what they say in stock market world is volatility, if there's a lot of volatility, that means price is moving fast. Could be upside volatility, could be downside volatility. This is the benchmark. Everything else is compared to it. So if something moves more than this, it would be said it's a high beta stock, meaning beta is in it moves at a higher beta than the market. And so beta 1 is S&P 500. And if we go look at AT&T, it may be beta half, meaning it moves at half the pace. If we go look at Bitcoin, it might be 1,000 because it's very volatile. So as we learn that, as we educate ourselves, develop skills of seeing the market, we know over time it's rigged. This has worked my entire life. But here's the problem. Look where we're at. I mean, it could come down here. It's done it before, right? Look. Look at this. This is all the way back. Now, let's get back to your grandma. You don't see your grandma like that. The world knows, Jesus knows the truth. Everybody sees their grandmas. My grandma wasn't like that. Man, there's old criminals too. So, the point of this is you're going to get on the bus sometime. You're born one day. Let me go find where. And this is what I always tell people. Go ask your daddy when he was born and look on here. And then go look when you were born. It's almost always higher. And then go look where your kids are born. It's higher. In the meantime, there's total shit shows. That's what this is about. So as I watch my assets, I run them all through the filter of what is the value of this shit I own. So every day, I need to know mentally, every property I own, what is it worth? You can't own properties that you don't know the value. You can't own stocks that you actually don't know the value. So if we're going to say, well, I want to buy Tesla, why? I don't know. Everybody likes Tesla, so I want to get me some Tesla. Okay, but how do you know it's valuable? I don't know, it's on TV a lot. Let's take it a little further. What if we could have a signal, and every time it's signaled, we go buy us some Tesla? And if over time it's rigged, so then we would always just be taking shots on lows, never taking shots on highs. And then if we needed to sell Tesla, we would reverse it. And that's what the money flow is. So as I watch price every day, we know once it closes below that green line, it's starting to do this. And so you're like, you watch 117 stocks? Yep. All of them? Yep. Isn't that stressful? Nope. I used to do it for free. No great person ever said, got to get paid first. Martin Luther King never said that because the demonstration of his love for his fellow man was all he needed. Same with musicians, actors, writers, and may I dare say investors, entrepreneurs, who work for years for little to free. Meaning I worked to get the money to get my first deal, right? Till your deals start to pay you. That's through the process of compounding. That's always obviously other classes meaning this is all a mind game, man. This is all a mind game. This same if you got my ebook, The Two Selves, How to Be 10 Foot Tall and Bulletproof, this is page 17. The same concept applies to dividend and real estate investing. At first, it often starts slow, and the return doesn't seem worth the effort. I made little profit in the first 5 to 7 years of investing, but I built the foundation for financial freedom. It was my love for investing, meaning I do it for free. Take all my shit, see what I do tomorrow. I'm going to go look for new shit. Meaning I do the same thing today. I did the very first deal. I'm looking for deals. I'm looking to allocate my capital to undervalued stocks. And I found this, I've started finding cheat codes instead. Meaning, you see this golden line here? This is the average of price over the last 200 days. And what I've found is things that are in the top 100, meaning they're just top 100 assets in the world. You're like, what do you mean? Exxon. Would you like to have $1 million in Exxon, or would that be a bad thing? You're like, fuck yeah. Would you like to have $1 million of Coca-Cola? Sure. Would you like to have $1 million of Procter & Gamble? Yeah. So we could go on and on and on, and I could give you 100 things, and you might not think of them now, but as I say them, you're like, yeah, of course. Verizon, T-Mobile. I can just go on and on and on for 1,000 of these, and you go, yeah, I know all of those. And yet you don't know anything of that yet, and then people are like, well, I don't understand the stock market. It's like, you're in the stock market. You are this. Like your spending is making this chart happen. You are the real estate man. You're in real estate. You're just not making any money from it. Everyone's in real estate. You got to live, man. You're in the real estate game. You're going to either pay rent or pay equity or own equity. If you're alive and you're not living under a bridge, even then you're in the real estate game. You're in somebody else's real estate game. And we're here, dude, that same philosophy. These stocks, this is 30 different stocks, by the way. You're like, what stocks? What 30 are these? What's this? If you have my charts course, I show you how to set all this up, by the way. Let's click view all. I literally show you how to use this platform. I know my friend Ashton makes fun of people that trade from their phone. I run $1 million thing from my phone. I'm gonna be honest. It's usually a phone, fucking 2 pads, and a TV. Like, and that's how most of my. This is. I wish I had some fancier way. I mean, people ask me, how do you find properties? It's weird. You know, I'm gonna be honest. Like, here's my secret formula. Let's go to. If you go over here, don't tell anybody how I do this. If you go to Realtor, and you just click the button, you're like, Gerald, it can't be this. I'm sorry. Let's see. If you look, you'll see places I've been looking. This is one I was looking at yesterday. These are new, man. Come on, baby Jesus. Let me have one of these, baby Jesus. So I want one. Look, it's 800,000. Can't afford it, but I can dream. I could run the numbers, and guess what? I could take this and I could go over to Airbnb DNA, and I could put in this address right here. Run this. You're like, yeah, but you got to know secret Illuminati stuff. No, put that address in. And just like Karen at Morningstar, they're going to give me kind of a price. And they don't know for certain. What does Karen know? It's just her best idea based on what she learned, you know, on books. And so what I do is I want to take their information and know when to execute on it. So as I watch Tesla, the old GP signal is that bitch went below the golden line. And you're like, well, what does that mean? Don't worry about that. When it goes below the golden line, that means value. It is on sale. There's things in real estate like called the 1% rule, where here's the value of the house. Let's say it's 180,000 deal, and they're renting each side for fucking 900 each. And you're like, that's 1,800. And you're like, yeah, that would be what I call penciled. So as I'm cruising Realtor, it pencils. If it pencils, I need to look at it. I wish I had that's literally how I've bought a lot of properties. Same in stocks. So you must have some secret insight. Not really. I have some filters and things that help me. I track the top 100. I look for them to go under the yellow line a lot for buying holds. And I know it's attracted to the yellow line. And as a trader, I know that too. So as I watch this pattern, as an investor, as a short-term flipper, what am I looking for? Value. I need value out of whack. I need houses that are below market value that are actually worth more. It's the same in stocks. So if Tesla becomes undervalued, let's see. Let's put it in. Right? TSL. And I've got capital to allocate. Let's see. Okay, it's trading now 28%. That's not a lot, by the way. This thing runs hot. So when in normal, I know because of interest rates, these stocks that normally run hot have come down, right? Do you know Tesla's compounded at 50+% for like 12 consecutive years? So what we're betting is that game continues. So as I go study the history of Tesla, you say, how can you know that? Guess what, man? You can come over here, click this button, watch. Where do I have it? Is it in the newsletter? I give this shit free. I don't know why I give this away. You know why I give this away? Because Jesus gave everything away. Let's see. I must have it in the ebook, man. Yeah, I think it's in the ebook. By the way, you come over here and click all kinds of shit. I think it's in the ebook. You can go run it. So what that does, it gives me a little historical preference. I know Tesla normally trades at a premium. Now it's below value. It's below the 100. So now as I'm watching the price, what I'm looking for is to accumulate stage ones and undervalued assets based on the fact that I believe this will go back up because the market is rigged. Once it's too far down, they're going to be like, oh, we need to stimulate the economy. I don't know when that is, or something happens. It's never the same story. It doesn't keep going forever. Stocks respond way before the common man. Like you can have the common man at the worst of his depths, and the stock market is fucking flying. And that's why people hate stock people, because it's like, fuck, we're suffering, and you're over here cashing in options. You're over here cashing in GameStop goes up 10,000% and you guy makes $1 million and I'm over here working. That ain't fair. It's like, well, yeah. The difference is, dude, that guy put his risk up. He put capital up. He came up with a plan on when to execute and he fucking did it. That's the difference, man. And it transcends work. It doesn't matter how much you work, man. Where are we at? Let's back this up, man. I mean, look at all of these runs. All of these runs. I wasn't in GameStop, but let's say that's one you're following and you're going to execute on. Man, all you had to do was the money flow. God damn, if you did the money flow on GameStop, you got rich. Simple as that. You made a ton of money. Don't believe me? Go ask Chris Johnson. He was one of my students. Made a shit ton of money on that. One of my students takes the money flow, takes the profits from his job, just like we talked about, and you don't have to die broke. He begins to allocate money to the stock market, allocate money to a real estate market, allocate money to himself. You got to invest in yourself, get healthy, get a nice house, have no debt, right? It didn't say go leverage yourself and blow the fuck up. It didn't say go, right? It says, what does it say? First, invest in yourself, right? In yourself. That's what this is. Where's it at? Something is wrong with me, man. This is Illuminati. If you go here, I talk about this. You can only invest in 4 things, man. Yourself. That's getting skills. Like if you know how to repair a house, there's dudes like me that'll pay you. If you know how to put in a floor, if you know how to fix a light, if you know how to drive a car, if you can just show up on time and pick this box up and put it over there. Some people have a hard time with that. Just being there on time. Just fucking showing up, man. Much less skills. Like this is why, man, if you start applying the money flow, get out of debt, begin to allocate it, begin to run deals on these properties. You're like, I ain't got money to buy a property. Shh, don't tell them. You're like, what do you mean? I'm gonna go look at it next time I'm down there, man. 800,000. I can't afford that. I'm not gonna tell them that. I'm gonna tell them, show me the fucking condo, man. Why? Like, you get what I'm saying? Meaning they can't keep you out from that, man. They can't keep you from looking at deals. And people tell me all the time they're too expensive in my area. Yeah, you ain't walked any. Go walk some, man. Go look at them. Get out there. Guess what? Guess what? If you go to a car lot, you end up buying a car, man. You go to look at houses, you'll end up getting a property because that'll lead to this, which leads to that. If you start buying stocks below this gold line on a consistent basis, regularly following the markets, looking for quality companies that go underneath that, that if you come over here and you put into things are 30, 40, 50% undervalued, and you start setting those up and you lay this over. So this is what you see me doing, man. Let me close one out, and I'm sorry, I was enjoying my damn class, so I was getting excited myself, man. God damn, sometimes I hear myself do it, I'm like, bro, you gotta stop doing this. Nobody's brain can comprehend this, man. I mean, a lot of people get stressed by it. I'm like, man, how can you be, I'm in love with it. What do you mean stressed by it? What are you stressed about, man? You don't like playing chess? You don't like shares? You don't like dividend? I mean, what's to be stressed about, man? So we've been playing this game with Exxon most of my adult life. And they give me hundreds of dollars whenever they pay dividends. I'm not looking to get stressed about this. I'm looking to buy this pattern right here until I got, I don't know, how much you want, Exxon? Let's go 100,000. So we'll just keep doing that. What would the dividend be on that? Be like 5 G's. You'd get a rack. So if you had $100,000 and you're like, oh, I can't. What do you mean? I meet kids that got 100,000 in debt. You should have borrowed it and bought Exxon, man. At least their shit would be going up and giving you dividends. I meet people all the time, man. Got a debt on a couch, man. I'd be better you to put debt on Exxon. Now I would never do that, but I'm just saying. We got to switch how we begin to see things, man. We got to go from being consumers to producers. And by producers, I mean the way we see things. So if I'm buying oil at the gas station, I need to buy some fucking oil stocks. It ain't that complicated, guys. And as I watch that, I can watch the pattern of the price of oil. And when do I want to watch it? Every day that I wake up. And so as I watch, you're like, Let me show you some magic. So many years ago, I drew this on a piece of paper. And I was sitting at a blackjack table. And I've been doing a lot of self-reflecting and a lot of self-help, which I do every day. Health, wealth, mindset. I'm not doing good on the health one right now, I'm going to be honest. But those are the big three. Those are the keys to a successful life. Hey, be honest with what you're not doing too, man. I tell people all the time, oh, here's where I'm fucking up. Why? Well, first step to fitness, just say it out loud. Maybe I won't fix it today, but if I keep saying it out loud, I'm a little closer. So health, wealth, and mindset, man. So we don't have any money. It's just because you're not used to the art of money getting. You're not accumulating money. And what this allows me to do is I watch things like oil stocks and I watch the value of them. And when they're undervalued, I'm looking to accumulate them. So if we go over here, let's use Exxon. I should have used Conoco. It's a little more extreme example. What is Exxon trading at? A 2% premium, meaning it's basically at fair value now, right? Right. If you go look, where did we start taking our ERX trades off at? Right up in here, right? That RSI is banging. So at the time that our trading, our flips, you want to flip real estate, don't you? If you want to flip real estate, don't you want to flip it into a hot market? Just saying, what if you could figure that out, man? What if you knew when something was a little overheated or a little undervalued? That's the value equation. And these things to me are self-similar across different scales. It's a fractal pattern, right? Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales, driven by what? Recursion. All the kids in the back are like, what did he just say? Fractals are images of dynamic systems. What is it? Say it, man. You should know this by heart. Pictures of what? Chaos. I'm working on chaos to cash right now. Chaos to cash. So because we follow it so well in our buy and hold, it makes it easy to spot trades. Right? Easy to spot trades. So our investing helps us trade if we want to trade and flip if we want to flip. And it helps us entry points and exit points, right? So when we got our rollover, you're like, Gerald, you couldn't know that's going to go down. I said, I know. I'm just watching the stages. And when I learned this, I learned it from a guy that did it on the weekly chart. Each one of these bars is 1 day. So you're looking into the soul of the stock, man. The stock opened right there on that tick. This is super important. You got to know the difference between a regular drill and an impact drill. And an impact ranch. They're different. This is different. This is a bar. And that's where the stock opened and that's where the stock closed. And if you're like me, that tells me a story, man. It's a $3 fall. Look where price is in relation to the 5-day moving average. Straight down. So we have people inside of the Money Flow Trading Society. Now we got out over here. This is triple leveraged, by the way. So we waited till what? The pullback. So what am I watching for now? The same setup that made us the 55% return. So we let it come in. And the further it comes down, when it RSI triggers and it puts in an anchor point, it starts to go sideways on my price, on my picture here. What am I doing? We're over here, baby. See, the high is the low. A stage 2 uptrend is a downtrend, man. An up is a down. We talk about that in the two selves, the bipolar nature of the markets, man. They go too high, they go too low. It's always to one extreme to another. Come on, man. Don't stop me now. Money all is simply a social agreement to whom and to which side of the register you agree and will dictate where and how you work. It will also determine how much you are allowed to earn and how quickly you gain financial freedom. That's why we're doing this, by the way. Let me show you something while we're talking financial freedom. Let me show you something your grandma don't know about. This right here. Now, as a general rule, first thing I do when I see this, where is it at in relation to this golden line? And when it crosses the 20, what does it do? You say, what does the 20 matter? This is the composite average of 1 month of trading. It's 20 days. There's 5, Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday. Make this green line. That is the average price of that. Don't make it complicated. If the price is above it, that means price is above the average price of the last month. That is the definition of an uptrend, meaning price is now going higher based on the last month. These little dotted lines, those are exponential averages of price over the last 5 days, 10 days, and we could get more. That's more in trader talk right in there, meaning traders need to be taking gains when the 5 and 10 are crossing, because you can say stage 1, 2, 3, and now we're coming down. As an investor, this little down may not mean much to me. It's like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna do anything until I get my bottom. So what I'm watching for as the investor is this action, right? Meaning I want it to come in. I want this to go red. Until it goes red, I'm not playing, man. Listen, man, I didn't make this up, man.
Point is to buy something that you like at a price you like, and then hold it for 20 years. And you should not look at it day to day. If you bought a farm or apartment house, you wouldn't get a quote on it every day or every week or every month. So it's a terrible mistake to think of stocks as something that bob up and down, and you should pay attention to those bobs up and down.
You literally every day have thousands of the major American corporations offered you at a price and a price that changes daily. And you don't have to make any decisions. You have to make, nothing is forced upon you. So there are no called strikes in the business.
Super important. This right here is the ticker, is USA. Pays 12% dividend yield. It's an asset management company. They go buy stuff, use a little leverage. It's leverage to the stock market. Pays 12% yield. Man, what if I knew when to buy this? Money and all money is simply a social agreement to whom and which side of the register you agree. It will also determine how much you're allowed to earn and how quickly you gain financial freedom. If you attach earning money only to a job, you will never see, feel, or understand prosperity. Having a job is only one way to earn and create money in your life. Wages will pay your bills, but profits will make you rich. In the United States, it was easy in 2009. Where's that at? Oh man, what if you just got on the train in 2009? Remember George Bush took us through the big crash, and then the Obama came in. President Obama again and again under the Trump administration to gather billions in stimulus money, cash for clunkers. This is because back in this is page 18 of my book, Two Selves, How to Be 10 Foot Tall and Bulletproof. This is because back in 1913, a group of bankers joined to form the Federal Reserve. And those 40 to 50 guys convinced Congress to agree with them in certain terms, and bingo, bango, thousands printed. Anyone who's president can print as much money as they care to. Just ask Obama, Trump, Bush, and now Biden. One clause, though, it has to be voted upon and agreed upon, though. Again, only a handful of men and women in Congress. One day your house is worth $700,000, and the next month that group decides to print a bunch of money, or maybe play with mortgage rates a little bit. Oh, by the way, just so you know, if you want to track mortgage rates, one way to keep an eye on things is what we call bonds. This is TLT, 20-year Treasury note. This will fluctuate. So if they think they're going to slow down on the tightening, you're going to see this asset climb higher and higher and higher. And we've been in this. So we've had a run up now. And look what's happening. Come on, Jerome. Tell me it's not so, man. Look what happened when the green hit. Look what happened when the red hit. Not always, but look what happens sometimes. What if we didn't have to be right always? Just sometimes. Man, look at that. Now we know I'd rather be a buyer here than a buyer there. Just that information is like, now we combine that with a couple other things, right? The golden line, how to value something. Is it overvalued, undervalued? The chart pattern, right? The belief. If you don't have this belief, it ain't going to work. 71% of the time, prices are going up. 29% of the time, it's freaking out and going down. And that's called volatility. What I'm trying to do is play both sides, man. And there's different ways to play that. And there's times to flip, and there's times to trade, and there's times to not trade. There's times to just accumulate. And if you remember when we were going through this recent, I'm like, not buying growth stocks, not buying growth stocks. Why? Because they're going down. I don't mean I'm selling my PayPal, but I'm not committing good money after bad. I need to get these dividend stocks because they're about to rip, man. What did we see? So I'd come on lives. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to know that, man. Where's did I move my thing? So as I go through, man, I just record this, man. Now what are you starting to see? Google, Amazon, Airbnb, Tesla, Amazon. You notice there's not much dividend action going on. Why? Trimmed Amgen, 1031. Remember we looked at Amgen? Why? Amgen's overvalued, man. So I have a responsibility as a portfolio manager. If there's profits to be had there, or if I need some, it looks like it's going down. Like, there we go. We got the money flow sell signal right there, right? Price closed below the ring. The 5-day exponential crossed, breaking support. Would it be weird if it just came down to here? Oh, man, it's done that shit a bunch of times. So it runs up, tops out. Well, yeah, this is true value. It's not a deal anymore. People are selling BX because the fund was so successful. Let that sink in. And as you do, you think, yeah, maybe they're trimming winners. Exactly. And when they go through that process, it starts to put pressure on it. And that's how price moves. You know? And so a lot of these dividend stocks, look at this. This is a dividend stock. Well, if you look at the Dow, this is inside of the Dow, right? That's why we bought it. What do you see? What do you see? Dow Jones topped out. So when that Dow Jones hits this RSI, guess what's not going up? Dividend stocks. That's the wind, man. Money is just a social agreement. Down here we had an agreement. Up here we got an agreement. Today we got an agreement right here. We might have an agreement next week over here. They might take it down to an agreement over here, and then that fucker runs, goes up to an agreement up here, 395, and that would just be called money flow. You know, and I don't need to know why. I don't need to spend a lot of time worrying about that. Like, that's not what I'm worrying. I'm worrying that I catch these breakouts when they happen to the upside. And if I'm going to short, I catch the breakdowns to the downside if I'm trading, right? And then I'm setting targets. That's, you know, get inside the money flow in my course and all that. But as an investor, I need to watch this too. So do I want to buy Amgen as an investor right now? Hell no. What I'm looking at is the stuff nobody likes, right? What is one? Hanes Brands. Now, don't get yourself jacked up in these where you get an enormous fucking position. The goal isn't to buy yourself to the positive. Think of what I just said. I'm not trying to buy myself to the positive. I'm trying to build a position so that the return is larger. All right? They're saying it's significantly undervalued. Now, David might be wrong, but David has a master's degree and studies business. This is what he does. And based on his probably 300,000 in student loans he got to learn how to do this, he says this. Now, we could go compare this to other people. And so as I watch, we come all the way back and we're like, okay, fuck, man. So what I want to do is, what about the dividends Amgen's giving me? Maybe I could set those to go to cash. So now when they pay rent, give me their $200 or $300 a door or a stock. What if we're getting 100, 200 a stock? Right? When it's overvalued, I take some down. Why? So I could buy Hanes Brands. It's way below the golden line. Right? And way below value. So when were we buying Amgen? Where's Amgen? Back it up on the weekly. You remember we bought it at the end of 2021. Why? Had a huge sell-off. It's on the weekly chart. This stock went down. It went from $245 down to $195. Now, this is a weekly chart, so we're not looking for money. I learned it on the weekly. The guy was teaching me the 4 stages of price movement on the weekly chart. But, what dawned on me is I was playing blackjack and had studied with Dr. Elder and other traders that this phenomena is actually happening, and the way to take advantage of it. Yes, it's fractal in nature, and a fractal is an ongoing, feedback loop, right? Very first page of Money Flow, that ongoing feedback loop, driven by recursion. Fractals are images of dynamic systems. This is the system. The system is that price moves in these stages. 100%, no, but when you can see it, it becomes exploitable. Patterns become exploitable to really good card players, but you got to practice seeing the pattern, right? You can see it. Once you've done this a bit, you can see it. Are they all perfect? No, they're not all perfect, man. You get a little wacky. You got to know what this means when it doesn't break support, right? That's a very common pattern. Then we're what does that mean? It means we're still on this one over here. We're not on the next stage until the stage breaks, right? So we had a break here. It broke down. How far did it go? It just went for like 2-3 weeks. Well, on a daily chart, what do you think this looks like 2 weeks down? Price goes down, 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 and then it stops. And that week there, look at that week right. This is a weekly chart. That's Monday, that little tick to the left, and the tick to the right is Friday on that. Look how close they are. You know what that means? Price just went sideways. Bar, 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 accumulation. And all of that 5 days on this chart is shown in one candle. And then look, starts to move. Well, what do you think that's going to look like on a daily chart? It's going to look like price came down, price went sideways, and then price went up. And when it did, it broke out. My God, man. It's almost soul draining, man. Having Illuminati secrets is almost soul draining. Look at ConocoPhillips. We'll get off this. I'm on extra credit right now because I like hearing myself tell the story. Let's see. If I waited on your friends to tell you, they're not going to tell me, man. Harvey, don't talk during church. It's Sunday. Shh. Shh. Just listen. So as we're drawing it out, you're like, what do you mean? Go backwards, get in flow. Keep drawing it out. And as you do, you can see it going forward. And it stopped. And then what? There's our breakout. You remember when we said it's our last chance? That's the breakout right there. And now we're in the uncertainty of gambling. Game theory. We don't know the next card. If it's what I think it is, it's going to keep going. And you're like, well, how do you know when it hit the top? You're going to get a signal. That's called an indicator. Technically, this RSI is an oscillator. Don't let that confuse you. I know you guys like to oscillate, fibulate. And Matt, I didn't say anything. This is the apex point. Apex point always precedes the RSI. And then look, this is very common. Comes down, comes back up, but what? It holds it. If you got my book, The Two Selves, talk about the bipolar nature. Did the same thing, man. You'll see it. Does the same thing. Up as it does down. So as this comes down, where do I expect it to come? Where it came before, man. What's my first signal? RSI is going to go extreme. Now what am I looking for? A bottom. But I got to have the definition, right? I got to catch the bottom. I got to get the bars, and it's got to hold, man. So as a trader, if I'm watching oil right now, what am I doing? I'm letting this come in, and I'm trying to do this. But guess what? Some people are short oil. Look at drip. We got money flow gang members short oil. Why? It's called skill. It's called being in flow. Stop talking and just shh. Be in flow. That's the crossover, right? That's the breakout. And if we see oil, and you see oil is just going, it runs up and then it goes sideways. And now we go look, and all the stocks are fundamentally overvalued, meaning all the people that went to college who study finance say, man, these stocks are overvalued, man. And the money flow saying stage 3, and you're a trader, you want to short that. You could be long it and short it at the same time, man. You can flip houses and collect rent, man. You can play all sides. But if you don't see that as just second nature, think of all the dumb shit you were thinking about and didn't get short oil. All the thing you were like, well, wonder what's going on with old Aunt Bertha. Look, I don't know what's going on over there. What about these? I see you. I see. You know how many money flow members I see logged into video games? They can't short. I see you on Discord, bro. You're in a video game. You ain't got time to get short oil. I ain't got no money to put in my account. But you're playing video games, man. We ain't 14. Who the fuck has time to play video games, man? You got money out here waiting on you. I fell in that loop, man, when I got out of the army, spending a lot of time on a bunch of nonsense. Go look, oh, that's what I like to do. Man, you better make what you like to do make you money. Better start switching what you like to do. That's why, like, people who want to, I see who you are, man, on Discord. Shit, we can put you on point right now. I'll log into the motherfucker and it'll show you who's on there playing video. Right now, there's people playing video games on there. They used to be in the money flow. I can still see them. They're over there in Zelda. Never had money to trade. Got time to play Zelda. They're like, well, I don't know if the money flow works. Okay, well, if we look at oil, it looks like it's breaking down, right? That's why we took profits over here, because we were long and then it ran up. Now it's starting to come in. So a lot of being a trader, man, is being in flow, man. Make this, like, this is what you find fun. Like, catching this, like, fuck, dude, this is breaking out. Like, how did I miss? Think of all the dumb things you were thinking about this week and you missed this. This is how you short oil. Now, I didn't get in it because I put my money on short in a SPY and I picked the wrong horse. So I'm going short. I'm short the S&P right now. I don't only have so much money. That's why, but we talked about it. And I alert people. And I put out a video like, hey, here's how you short. Why? Because I'm seeing a lot of short signals. So if you want to learn, the best way to learn is to get in some reps, man. You ain't got to put a lot of money on it. And what I was saying was get in there and get the SPXU. It's leveraged. This is a trade. We're not going to go to bed with this. You're not married with this. You're not taking this. You're not giving this to your kids. This is trading, man. If you can't handle it, get out when it comes to this. Here's our stop loss. Now, doesn't this oddly look familiar? If you were to look at this, just like back it up and just kind of do this. Like, keep it simple and connect it. Doesn't that weirdly look like that? Illuminati, baby. Illuminati. I got friends, they don't even know what they're sitting next to, man. They don't even know the questions to ask me. Most people don't know what to ask me, man. We end up spending time talking about their dumb shit instead of what they need to know. Sometimes we can't see what we need to know because you get caught in the mundane, just living life, man. Just showing up on time, getting the money, playing Zelda. Let's see. So anybody can be short this. You just need $15.82. Here's our first target. Here's our second target. And so together, as a group, Money Flow Gang, we're short in the market. Now, some people are going to they didn't do it, man. They just didn't do it. Now, they're going to have less experience as this plays out. And that don't mean it, Making it right or wrong isn't the question, man. You get what I'm saying? It's not whether I made money on trade. Did I execute on the trade consistently? Am I going to show up tomorrow and execute on the trade consistently? So can I execute on this? Can I take them all? So what if this turns on you and we get stopped out and you lose some money? Well, it's a short trade. That's trading. And you hit that button and you wait, man. You might get 5 of those in a row, man. Okay? You're waiting. You're waiting for what? The setup, man. And the way it helps you to follow the same things. You know, don't get crazy. 1 minute it's this, 1 minute it's that, 1 minute it's that. You can't get in flow if you do that. You know, if you lose your interest up here, man, you're not going to catch this here. Right? So we got to stay in flow of these things, man. Got to stay in flow, don't? Got to stay in flow, man.
Pitcher just stands there and throws balls at you. And if you're playing real baseball and it's between the knees and the shoulders, you either swing or you got a strike call on you. If you get too many called on you, you're out. In the securities business, you sit there and they throw U.S. Steel at 25 and they throw General Motors at 68, and you don't have to swing at any of them. They may be wonderful pitches to swing at, but if you don't know enough, you don't have to swing. And you can sit there and watch thousands of pitches, and finally you get one right there where you want it, something that you understand, and then you swing. And
So you might not swing for 6 months.
you might not swing for 2 years.
Isn't that boring?
It would bore most people, and certainly boredom is
I've gone many 2-year periods where I didn't buy properties because the pitch wasn't there. Couldn't find the setup. I'm not buying stocks up here, buying stocks down here. Sometimes there's a lot, sometimes there's not many. So if you trade with me inside of the money flow, if I'm not texting you, it's because I'm not doing anything. I'm just watching. And a lot of times I need to watch because I'm playing fucking chess, meaning there's something that I'm waiting for a setup, and it may take a week or two, but I'm going to need money. And so as I watch it, and I'm watching all 11 sectors, retail, finance, REITs, business development companies, growth stocks, gold and silver, Bitcoin, bonds, right? Some crypto. Look, spreading a little money around crypto coins. Oh, you guys are scared of crypto. Oh, Gerald, I'm scared of crypto. Good. Let me get some Bitcoin then, because I know you are fucking wrong. Everyone out there, you're wrong. You don't have a clue where shit is going. You think you do. Your intellect doesn't mean jack bean. You've never managed a corporation. You have no idea where the U.S. economy is going. You can barely manage your own checkbook. Most people that have opinions on stock market probably don't even have $100,000. And then there's people that do think they have problem. The problem is they can be billionaires and get it completely wrong. So that's not the game, man. I'm not worried about that. Here's my game. If I'm accumulating this as an asset class, I'm looking to buy stage ones. And if I'm a trader, what am I looking to do? Trade it, man. And if it's not setting up like maybe you're not getting enough volatility, then you wait, right? But I can play both sides of that. I can trade it and I can accumulate it. But what maybe as we're trading, we're like, fuck, it's not moving well. Well, drop down to a 1 hour. You know, I mean, look at this over here. That was a nice move. Big move up. Now we're waiting again. This is Bitcoin on a 1 hour, man. So don't let moves down keep you out of playing the game. That's what your grandma did. Your grandma. Let's go back to your grandma and I'll get off here. Back here, your grandma in 1945, wearing a little mini skirt out dating. You don't see your grandma that way, but she was. And they were all scared of the stock market because one time it had been way up here. And then it fell. And it went up, and then it fell, and then it went up, and then it fell, and then it went up, and it fell, and went up, and fell, went up, and fell, went up, 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 fell. Now here we are. And you got 28 all the way back to here. So that's the rigged game, man. This game's rigged, and we got to take advantage of these volatilities. And even if they keep going down here, they're going to go back up. So all we got to do is narrow it down and be like, what kind of, understand the asset you're trading. If you're in penny stocks, they might go out of business. If you own KuCoin, it might not be here. If you own Procter & Gamble, it'll be around. So hello, traders. You can trade shit that'll be around, by the way. So in other words, you want to trade options? Good. Trade options on shit that ain't going to zero. Trade options on bonds. Get short oil, get long silver. We've been in that one. All the dumb things people ask me about. I'm like, bro, do you not see silver? It's one of the largest traded things in the world right now. If you go look at the Peters report, what do you see me doing? The moment it gets under this golden line, buy stage ones, buy stage ones, buy stage ones, for what? To sell it when it's above the golden line and the RSI tags the extremes, right? And so look at this is the triple, man. So when we're down here buying these 18s, look at this run. That's a $10. It's $2,000 into $3,000, and it's still going. By the way, shit, it might go up to 40. Was that worth and you're like, well, maybe you started this here, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so down. Good, man. Keep letting it play. Keep sticking to the thing. You're buying ones. That doesn't work if you don't believe in the asset. So a lot of times where people get done, they're like, man, I think I bought it. It's like, yeah, if you think you bought dumb shit, if you don't know what you own, if you don't know its place in the world, if you don't know how interest rates affect the stock you own or thing you actually don't know what the fuck you bought. And you don't want to play this entrepreneur game or this real estate game without knowledge. So an inordinate amount of your time's got to be spent on this, man. It can't be like when you log into Discord. You'd be shocked number of them I see playing video games. Just like, God damn. You can't possibly know everything you need to know about a Haynes brand. Playing video games. Fuck, man. So now what? We're above the 200. We're hitting extremes, so I'm looking at trimming. And so as I watch the money flow, let's see, did we tag it? We got on the wrong side of this delta. I'm not selling them. I know I trimmed it, man. Every once in a while I text shit and I forget to put it on the report. Oh, right there. Trimming AGQ. What else are we trimming? So as you go through watching this, continuing to build position net gas. Let's see. Trimming Amgen, Mark, Campbell's, Chevron, ERX, Gilead. Look at Gilead. Look at this. We did the money flow game for 2 years with this stock. Most of it underwater. Buying this thing in the 50s. Now look at this pattern. I know. You don't think it comes from God? Had time to play video games. Look at this. You'll see it move. They're not all perfect little patterns. Right? You remember these are the weeklies, right? These are the weeklies. Now, when we're playing this game, it's because this stock pays a 5% dividend every time it's below that gold line. I need to know. Pays a big fat dividend. Chaos to cash. Chaos to cash. So the chaos of whatever the reason it kept pulling it, the chaos of that, this is the cash part, right? You see the pattern? Okay. So as it goes up, now I don't want to do anything. It's a runaway. Now that's day traders, momentum traders. You guys do what you want to do. I already did my shit back here. And because it took a while, I'm able to build enough position so when this happens, it's $5,000, $6,000, not $80. And now we have an asset that we're up, 30, 40, whatever it is, percent that's paying you a drip, 5% dividend yield. What is that return? Meaning you got your money back, plus a few more grand, plus you getting paid. And you got someone that tells you when it's overvalued. So what was that? Let's look at, put Gilead in. Now 2 years underwater in this. A lot of my friends have come and gone. Oh, I'm going to join the money flow gang for 3 months, Gerald, and see. Okay, well, holler at you in 3 months, I guess. Let's see. Overvalued now. Oh, it's Karen again. Look at that. She covers all of these. So we got a Karen in our corner, man. What is Karen saying? This thing is overvalued, man. Do you want to buy overvalued condos or undervalued condos? Do you want to buy overvalued houses or undervalued houses? See how this is so similar? So as I study dividends, and I need to own some biotechs because it's a sector in the S&P 500, right? This one's also from other research, but you get my point. Now it's work. Now we take the money off, we hold a core position, we take that money and we roll it to shit like Hanes Brands, other things, man. And we would expect this to come down, right? And that's it, man. So when we listen to a Warren Buffett talking this stuff,
There's a problem with most professional money managers. If they try to sit out an inning or two, not only do they get somewhat antsy, but their clients start yelling, swing you, bum.
Some people should not own stocks at all because they just get too upset with price fluctuations. If you're gonna do dumb things because a stock goes down, you shouldn't own a stock at all. No, I mean,
What are dumb things? Selling a stock?
yeah,
goes
selling
down?
a stock as it goes down. I mean, if you buy your house at $20,000 and somebody comes along next day and says, I'll pay you 15, you don't sell it because the quote's 15. You look at the house or whatever it may be. But some people are not actually emotionally or psychologically fit to own stocks, but I think more of them would be if you get educated on what you're really buying, which is part of a business. And the longer you hold stocks, the less risky they become, whereas the longer the maturity of a bond, the more risky it becomes.
thank you, Mr. Buffett, man. The longer you own a house, the less of your money's in that house, by the way. The longer you've owned real estate, the less risky it is. The longer you've owned a stock, the larger your return. So my return is much larger than if a guy bought it today. So come over here and you buy it at 87, you're going to get your little dividend drip. Well, I bought it at 56, 55, a whole bunch of times, and I'm at 87, and I'm getting a dividend drip. Except my drip's not the 5% today. My drip's like 8, 9% because I bought it down here for 56. So if you were buying a CD, if you went to the bank and they said, hey man, I'll give you 5% on your money, and you bought the CD at 87, and then I go in the next day and they say, hey Joe, I'll give you the same deal I gave that guy, but you only got to pay 58. So I give them 5,800, you give them 8,700, and we both get the same dividend drip. You like that deal? That's available in the stock market every day, man. That's what the money flow trading system is about. That's what this is about. If you go to petersreport.com. Hey, if you don't have my book, man, get it. I'm trying to do this back to the basics all this month, man. Get you thinking like a millionaire. Get out of debt. Stop being a bum. Oh, you guys that are married, get your shit together. Oh, you guys that are still with mom, get out of the house, man. It's time to get it right, man. Don't start January all fucked up. Stop playing video games. Stop wasting your time, man. Get your shit together. You do not have time. Some of you don't even have a beach house. I don't know, man. You don't want a beach house? Man, don't you want another house, man? Come on, man. You got to get 100,000 in this game, man. You got to at least get 100,000 into these dividend stocks. You know, stop playing around, man. Stop playing around. Go work one day a week. Take all that money, set it aside. Do it all fucking year. That's 52 times however much you make a day. And let's get that money going, man. You start to compound that over a period of time. Walk as if, talk as though. Act like you're rich, man. Do what rich people do. Don't be the guy out there like, oh, I got 27 stocks and it's stressing me out. It's like, dude, shut up. Get 27 more. Let's go, man. Put some stress on you. You need to stress out a little bit. Come on, man. Eat that. Eat this shit, man. Fuck, I'd rather. This is the ultimate video game, man. This is a video game that takes money and just eat it. Take advantage of this stuff, man. Learn it. You know so much, man. God's giving you so much right there in your hands. Just click buttons. So much there, right there for you, man. I appreciate you guys listening. What's up, YouTube? Let's discard that video. I got to be careful with Instagram, man. They could be putting me on restrictions and shit. GP has your free book. Get started. Read that one. Oh, appreciate you, man. You guys need to go talk to your grandmas, man. Excelente.